tonight, Blood, Sweat and Tears celebrates 40 years of British climbers conquering Everest. But now, because it's there, I suppose, football teams want to rise to the dizzy heights of the Premier Division. And I, for one, think Swindon can do it. Live from Wembley, here's the match.
A place in the Premier League is a prize for the winners of today's First Division playoff final at Wembley, as Leicester and Swindon battle for the final promotion place. Leicester polished off Portsmouth in the semi-final, despite finishing 12 points behind them at the end of the regular season. Brian Little's men were playoff losers last year. And Glenhoddle's Swindon side knocked Tranmere Rovers out of the equation. The Robins were playoff winners 3 years ago, but were denied promotion because of financial irregularities. Well, good afternoon and welcome to Wembley. Jimmy Greaves is with me, and no matter what happens today, Jim, Leicester or Swindon will be in the big money in the Premier League, and the game finishes today because there'll be extra time or even penalty kicks.
Correct, yes. Actually, yeah, one of them's got to make it. Two noble Midland sides here, Saint, battling it out. They've given us some good football this year.
And it's a full stadium, a wonderful atmosphere.
It's unbelievable stadium atmosphere here, and two really traditional colours, isn't there? There's the old red and white and the blue and white, and it sort of blends in beautifully together, really. Very nice, Saints. Carry on.
OK, well, at half-time today, we have a competition for you with another trip to America up for grabs. But first, we can enjoy the rest of the weekend playoff action. In a moment, West Brom's win over Port Vale, but first, we go back to Saturday afternoon for York City against Crewe.
McMillan onside. Barnes, good play from him. Tricky again, left foot through. Chance, goal! York in front. And can you believe it? It's Gary Swan again. The man whose goal brought York City to Wembley. It was his first goal for the club, and now the only man in the team born in York gets the goal that could win promotion. Crewe, a corner kick for them. It's beyond levels. Is that handball? It is! Oh no! And in the last minute of extra time, Crewe have the opportunity to force a penalty shootout. Dave McKinney is the man charged with the responsibility. Can Dean Kiley stop it? No, it's a goal for McKinney, and the match is surely going to go to a penalty shootout now.
Well, it did, and the pressure now on the goalkeepers. We join the shootout after 5 kicks, 3-2 to York City.
Wally versus Kiley. He saved it! It's the first miss. It's not all over yet, don't forget, it's the first miss. York can take a 4-2 lead here with their regular penalty taker, Nigel Pepper. He's scored 7 this season. He's scored 8, and York lead 4-2 in the penalty shootout. He favours the long runner. Ashley Ward, he scores. That had to go in. And it's 4-3 now. Now, it's Wayne Hall. He's got 1 goal all season. He's won them promotion! It's one of the greatest days in the history of York City. They'll play in Division 2 next season.
Horton loses out. Hamilton knocks it forward. That's a great first-time ball for Taylor. Bob Taylor. The free kick has been given, for sure, and it'll be interesting to see what further action the referee takes against Peter Swan here. And Peter Swan, sadly, has the long walk back down the Wembley tunnel. One of very few players in the history of the game to be dismissed at the world's most famous stadium. And it's off the post and off the line from Strotter's header. Taylor Chipped in again by Reed. And it's in this time, yes! It's Andy Hunt.
Good touch here, just moves it to the side, clips it in, and there's the header, directed into the only place the poor keeper got no chance of getting that.
Hunt. And it breaks suddenly. Donovan. And Reed has got forward from the back. And he scored! Nicky Reed has surely now clinched a place in the first division for West Bromwich Albion.
Donovan goes down, he looks up, he plays a little ball with the outside of the right foot. Reed gets a good first touch, keeper dives out at him, and he just keeps his cool and places it in the corner of the net.
Bob Taylor with a good header. What a good, sensible thing that was to do to the brilliant Nicky Reed. It's a decent cross too, and Taylor turns it straight against Aspin and still comes out with the ball. And in the end, Kevin Donovan has given Albion a certain place in the first division. 3-0. 40,000 Baggies fans celebrate. The trophy is important. The place in the first division, far more so.
Well, without doubt, Jim, a big club, West Bromwich. Certainly nowadays they were a huge club, and it's nice to see 40-odd thousand fans coming down to support them.
Yeah, 41, which apparently, I mean, you don't get that at a cup final because you just don't get that allocation of tickets. So it's a tremendous crowd. Yeah, I mean, we remember West Brom when we first went into the game. They were a big club, and it's nice to see them on the way back.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You have to feel a little bit sorry for Port Vale, of course, but they've had a good season. They've won, you know, a lot of games.
I did feel sorry for Port Vale because in the first half I booked them down as the better team, Ian, and then with the sending off of Peter Swan, I'm not so sure. I didn't think he deserved to go, but then I'm a sentimentalist, as you know. But and then after that, the door was open for Albion, and to be fair to them, they took full advantage.
And well done, of course, to York City, and commiserations to Crewe, who are doing such a fine job there.
It's not the best way to go, is it?
Oh, what a shame. We'll take a short break now. Next, we'll be looking at this afternoon's playoff final in more detail, so stay with us. Hello again. Now, both today's clubs have unpleasant memories of the Wembley playoffs. Leicester beaten here last year, while Swindon were denied a promotion place after winning here 3 years ago. Gabriel Clark reports.
For sheer nail-biting tension, there's nothing like it in the football calendar. Swindon and Leicester have already endured the unique atmosphere of the playoff final, and getting here again has been the realistic ambition for most of a season in which their two previous games have stretched to breaking point. Colin Calderwood was sent off at Filbert Street before Christmas, and his wrestling match with Julian Joachim in April threatened to have serious consequences for Leicester. Joachim got the red card this time and was automatically ruled out of the first leg of the playoff semi-finals. But Leicester won an appeal against the decision, and Joachim ended up coming on as substitute and turning the tie against Portsmouth their way. His goal gave them a lead to take to the south coast, where they defended in numbers but with no little style at one end and maintained that ruthless edge at the other.
Here's Thompson. Joachim alongside him. Still with Thompson. It's a great goal, and that might well settle it.
In two games, Leicester had beaten a side who finished 12 points ahead of them after the previous 46, but there was no celebrating from manager Brian Little. After all, Leicester were just back where they started 12 months earlier, when Little took them all the way to Wembley in his first season as manager, but a place in the Premier League ended up hinging on a dubious penalty, won for Blackburn Rovers by David Speedy. The agony of going so close has been the biggest motivation since then. But for Swindon, the cruel disappointment of missing out on promotion runs even deeper. In the 1990 playoffs, led by Osiar Diaz, they beat Sunderland to claim a place in the elite for the first time. But a Football League investigation into financial irregularities confined that achievement to just 10 days.
That Swindon Town Football Club be demoted by 2 divisions, i.e. to the 3rd division as of season 1990-91.
On appeal, Swindon were promoted back to the old second division, but Ardiez left the following season. The only good news was that he recommended Glenn Hoddle to be his successor, and the Swindon board took up the recommendation. With no money and mediocre crowds, Hoddle has still maintained the footballing principles Ardiez introduced and turned the lingering bitterness of 3 years ago into an overwhelming determination, as Tranmere found out in the first leg of the semi-final.
Here's Summerby for Swindon. It's a decent cross to the near post. It's an own goal! What a tragic start for Steve Vickers. What a marvellous start for Swindon. And Vickers, again, rather uncertain with that cross. And the shot almost comes to Mitchell. It's another goal! Incredible! 2 goals in less than a minute for Swindon.
Tranmere made a fight of it in the second leg, but 10 minutes from the end, Swindon made sure of their place in the final.
Well, Mitchell is suddenly gifted a ball, and he's got Maskell up in support here, and finds Maskell, and it's saved, but Maskell has scored. That should be enough now to send Swindon Town to Wembley.
As for today, form favours Leicester. Under Little, they've beaten Swindon twice and drawn with them twice in the last 2 years. And at Filbert Street, they're confident the £5 million facelift being carried out this summer will coincide with a place in the Premier League. So is Little, who's just pledged himself to Leicester till 1997. But just how he plans to deal with the influence of his opposite number might just be the key factor. It's Glenn Hoddle's first game at Wembley for 5 years, and if they lose, it could be his last for Swindon. So they're hoping the season ends as it began against Sunderland back in August, with Hoddle scoring the winner.
Was that a lucky goal or what?
Slightly lucky. I'll tell you, I'm so delighted that Glenn Hoddle is getting another game at Wembley, Jim. This will be his last one, obviously. But, I mean, he's such an influential player with Swindon. Key player.
He has been, and of course, as you know, he's played as a sweeper, which of course has been a great advantage to them because he's been able to read the game and guide everybody from not being under pressure from that position. Really.
And if things are going wrong, he just steps forward into midfield and becomes the midfield player again.
He has been known to, yes, he has.
His passing, his distribution.
Yeah.
I saw the games against Tranmere Rovers, and they're cracking, both cracking games, and he played ever so well.
I take it that the way that you are talking about Swindon, that you're going for Swindon this afternoon.
Well, I fancy Swindon. I like the way they play, Jim.
Yeah.
I think the football is great. You know, obviously you see Leicester up in the Midlands a lot.
Yes.
The teams come out now.
Yeah. Well, I think Leicester are going to be a tough cookie to beat this afternoon because since they got hammered by Newcastle, they've really come back and have meant business. And to Portsmouth's grief, I think they showed that. So I don't think they're going to take anything lying down at all.
Well, I think they've shown a lot of character, Jim. And this little fella here, Joachim, he's one guy with a lot of pace. Quickest man in the field, eh?
He's the one who's got what you and I would call real genuine pace. He's quicker than anybody else. But the battle could be between how Glenn Hoddle plays for Swindon and really how Oldfield plays for Leicester, because if he plays well, he seems to make Leicester tick a bit. He always battles, but it depends on how well he plays. But there's an handful all round for both sides, so be interesting to see.
Isn't it interesting also that Brian Little, the manager there, his brother Alan won with York City.
That's right, he did indeed. So it's a great day for them, isn't it? I mean, look.
OK, well, we'll take a quick break at this point, Jimmy, but you won't miss a thing at home. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. commentary team this afternoon, the Luton Town manager David Pleat, and first of all, it's Alan Parry.
So the final Wembley occasion of this long season, and after 9 months of hard work, it's all come down to the next couple of hours for these two famous old clubs. Well, let's look at the teams, beginning with Leicester City. In goal, Kevin Poole. At 2, Gary Mills. 3, Mike Whitlow. 4, Richard Smith. 5, Steve Walsh. 6, Colin Hill. 7, David Oldfield. 8 is Steve Thompson. 9, Julian Joachim. 10, Steve Agnew. And 11, Lee Philpott. Brian Little has changed his formation several times this season, but today he's opted for a conventional 4-4-2. Steve Walsh, who's really a centre-half, will play up front alongside teenager Julian Joachim. Leicester's players and manager Little on the verge of the Premier League for the 2nd year in succession, and I wonder how much of an inspiration will last year's unhappy experience provide.
I think we were a surprise package last season and enjoyed the day, whereas today, although we want to enjoy it, you know, that thought of losing is one which we hope will drive us on to victory this year.
Two sides capable of winning, capable of losing. Anything can happen.
I think so, yes. I mean, both good sides, both rightly in the top 6 in this league. I don't think there's been a great deal between any of the top 6 sides. It's all down to today and who performs well on the day. We feel we're capable of winning, but I would accept that Swindon would have the same feelings.
Well, now the Swindon lineup. Fraser Digby in goal. 2, Nick Summerby. His dad, the former Manchester City star Mike, among the crowd today. 3, Paul Bodin. 4, the player-manager Glenn Hoddle. 5, skipper Colin Calderwood. 6, Sean Taylor. 7, John Moncur. 8, Ross McLaren. 9, Dave Mitchell. 10 is Martin Ling. And 11, Craig Maskell. As you'd expect from a team led by Glenn Hoddle, Swindon have a fluid, attacking, adventurous style, with their fullbacks playing virtually as wingers. Hoddle himself, a veteran of so many Wembley occasions with Spurs and England. How important will that experience be today?
So it doesn't matter if you played here 100 times, but you get the same buzz when you come through that tunnel, I can assure you. And it's just something about the place. It's fantastic. Yeah.
These playoffs never quite work to form, so I mean, Leicester always seem to get good results against you, but this could be different, of course.
I think, you know, it's an old cliche, but league form does go out of the window when it's a one-off cup final, and this is what this is. You know, we haven't beaten Leicester this year, but there's got to be a time when we do, so it's no better than today.
Well, there's a lot of experience on the substitutes bench as well today. Colin Gibson and Ian Ormonroyd for Leicester. Mickey Hazard and Steve White for Swindon. The referee has had the shortest trip of anyone to Wembley today. School teacher David Ellery lives just a couple of miles away in Harrow. Well, to reach this final, both these clubs beat teams who finished above them in the table. As you've seen, Leicester knocked out Portsmouth. Swindon defeated Tranmere Rovers, so the one remaining promotion place behind Newcastle United and West Ham United will be decided today between the teams who finished 5th and 6th in the final table, and that in fact is the only division in which this happened. Alongside me today, a former Leicester City manager. Didn't have the likes of Julian Joachim on the staff at the time, bet he wishes he did. David Pleat. David, how do you see this game going?
Well, I think it'll be a game that people will enjoy watching, because Swindon certainly play a very composed, patient footballing game. Leicester probably got a little bit more strength. Leicester reverting to a 4-3-3 with strength and pace up front with Walsh and Joachim. Lee Philpott wide to provide the crosses. And as Swindon, of course, have got this lovely, fluid, interchangeable style in midfield. I think there'll be goals, and I think it'll be the ones that keep most calm, particularly in the early stages of the game, because it's so important, that first goal.
Swindon Town, remember, have never played in the top flight of English football in their history, although they thought they'd made it 3 years ago. David Mitchell might have been 12,000 miles away today, representing Australia in their World Cup qualifiers against New Zealand. Glenn Hoddle asked for his permission to play today, and the Aussies said yes. On the left, Colin Calderwood, the captain of Swindon Town, the only player left at the club from the team which won the 4th Division Championship 7 years ago. On the right, Gary Mills, who recovered from a groin injury to lead Leicester City out here today. And the Wembley wave already underway. A warm day, a strong wind, and a very enthusiastic and colourful crowd. Say what you like about the philosophy of the playoffs, but I think these occasions, in a way, are almost as exciting as the FA Cup final itself. Certainly, there are more true fans inside the stadium than you get on FA Cup final day. It's a big day for everyone, players, fans, officials alike. And it's Swindon Town, all in red, who will get the final big occasion of the football season underway. This is Calderwood, the captain, and Hoddle gets his first touch of the ball. Expect to see Swindon knock it around to feet with style. That's the way they've been playing all season. Thompson heads it back in, and we have the first offside. Steve Walsh caught forward from the earlier attack. Despite all the games played on it in recent weeks, the Wembley pitch immaculate. Summerby for Swindon. Gets round Philpott and keeps the ball in play. This is Maskell, and he's done well here, Maskell. And still got it. Ling in support. It took 3 Leicester players to deny him. And Swindon have started at a terrific pace. And Hoddle drives an excellent ball forward for Mitchell. Just nipped back by Whitlow to his goalkeeper Poole. Good header by Calderwood, but Mitchell caught offside. A cracking start by Swindon, David.
Yeah, splendid start. Good play down the right, particularly by Nicky Summerby, that fed that clever little ball through. I thought he might have been fouled by Lee Philpott, but David Ellery is a very good referee, and he's a very sensible referee, and he allowed play to go on. It was a good break by Swindon.
Walsh wins the header. Calderwood just laid off him. Ling beaten to the challenge by Agnew. Whitlow. Number 8 is Steve Thompson, who's had an excellent season. Mills. He was tripped by John Moncur. Free kick. One of the many Spurs connections on the staff at Swindon. John Moncur had about 7 seasons at Tottenham. Leicester are a good side in free kick situations and corners. They've got some big players, some inventive kits, and that one was played forward to Walsh. Hoddle got it away. And again, shows his calm control. Ling under pressure from Agnew, and the referee's given Swindon the free kick.
You always have a problem marking this Swindon midfield because they interchange. You'll see at times Martin Ling playing just free off the front 2 players. There'll be Maskell and Mitchell throughout the game. Sometimes Moncur will drift into that position. Ling's very effective there, and Hoddle himself will come up later in the game if they're struggling.
Maskell for Swindon. Ling, the player in support. The cross goes into Mitchell on the near post. Turned back in again by Summerby, and that was a difficult one, potentially, for Kevin Poole. Nicky Summerby has really made this right-back place his own in the Swindon side since David Kerslake was sold to Leeds, and in fact recently got picked for the England under-21 squad. He's not 22 till August, and as you can see, he has a famous family connection.
And like his father, Alan, he's all aggression, he's got terrific energy, and he's a marvellous crosser of the ball.
Moncur just possessed in midfield by Thompson. This is Mills for Leicester City. Agnew's made a good run down the right. Couldn't keep it in play. Steve Agnew was in the Blackburn squad for last season's playoff final against Leicester, although he didn't actually figure on the day. Hoddle. That's a glorious piece of Hoddle play, sweeping it out to Summerby, who was brushed aside by Philpott, but no foul given. Ling. And Whitlow just did enough to guard it over the line for a goal kick, but Bit of vintage Glenn Hoddle a moment ago, David.
Yeah, a wonderful pass with the outside of his foot. People often ask, how do you explain Hoddle's passing? He's got this ability to hit it on the front foot. When it comes to on the left or the right, he doesn't have to accept the ball, take the pace off it and then play it. He can just play it forward first time. Marvellous pass.
This is Calderwood. Mitchell did well then. Lost Whitlow with that quick turn. The support arrives from McLaren and now from Moncur. Somerby. It's good football, accurate to feet. Hoddle. Oh, what a ball that was by Hoddle. Out to Bodin on the left. He loves to get forward, the fullback, and it's a good ball. And Mitchell was inches away from connecting with his head.
Inspiring football by Swindon, working the ball in little pockets and little triangles, and then switching the play to the master Hoddle. Wonderful ball out to the left. And Bodin's cross just eluded Mitchell there.
Leicester have the throw. Deep in their own half, though. Walsh's header to Joe Chin. Hoddle is in to win it. Now Calderwood. Thompson's clearance. And Swindon not allowing Leicester time to settle on the ball. Moncur in with a terrier-like tackle then. Here's Thompson, who runs things from midfield for Leicester. And that's a lovely ball. Hoddle himself would have been pleased with that. Gary Mills. Oldfield. Overhit that one. And Hoddle seems to be everywhere at the moment. Tackling, sweeping it about beautifully, in control. But Leicester have it back with Mills, their captain. And there's Hoddle again, but he didn't do what he was intending then. He was a bit lucky it rebounded off Oldfield, but 35 now, Glenn, David. He's rolled back the years already in this first few minutes.
Yes, he's played in what some people call a safe position, but of course abroad the best player usually plays between the centre halves, seeing the whole game, reading every situation and passing the ball around from the position where he can command the field, and it suited Glenn Hoddle down to the ground. He's used all his skills to benefit his club.
Looks as though he could go on till he was 45. Bodin. Mitchell tackled from behind. The ball goes back on from Ling to Bodin. He has Maskell in the penalty area. Looked for him with the early cross, but it wasn't a good one by the Welsh international. It was his penalty in the draw at Notts County which clinched Swindon's place in the playoffs.
So important that Leicester resist this early flurry of quite clever attacking by Swindon. If they can just keep strong and try and slow the game down a little bit and try and get Steve Thompson and Steve Agnew, the two midfield players, working the ball. They're both good passers in their own right.
It's a very strong win, as I mentioned, at Wembley today, and it's behind Swindon in the first half. Moncur. Showed that to Walsh, who obligingly took it off him, and now Thompson. Sean Taylor, that's a good ball. Mitchell. Well, he felt he was brushed aside there by Smith. The referee, more significantly, didn't. Mills gets it away, but it's straight at McLaren. Now Bodin. McLaren again. Looking for Maskell. Agnew intercepted. Now Philpott brought down by a clumsy challenge there from Somerby. Will be spoken to by referee Ellery for that. As David was mentioning, he's got all of his dad's famed aggression. I don't know if you, any of our viewers can remember. I'm sure a lot of you will remember Mike Somerby from the 60s and 70s. He knew how to take care of himself, as they say, and he's passed that on to his son.
Well, he was always going to be second there, Nicky Somerby. There you see it again. And it was really a despairing lunge, and David Ellery has taken action. Of course, one of the problems of one of the downsides of the Swindon system is that Paul Bodin and Nicky Somerby are continually getting caught forward. If there is a misplaced pass, then there's always a chance of a counter. And Leicester are fully aware of that, and there was a particular case.
First caution of the game then for Nicky Somerby of Swindon. Leicester's free kick. then Hill takes it. Not a very good one, though. Maskell. Good challenge on him by Whitlow. And Hill can try again to deliver it more accurately, and does so, but even that was causing Walsh to stretch too far. Bodin. Ling. Looked a dodgy ball, but I think he knew what he was doing. Calderwood. Now Hobble. Spots the run by Mitchell, but Smith was sticking very tight to the Swindon number 9 then. Lifelong Leicester fan, by the way, Richard Smith, not David Mitchell. He's travelled a lot in the game as well. Whitlow, Joachim. And Agnew comes out with the ball for Leicester. Looks for Oldfield. It's good play by Oldfield. Now Thompson. Philpott. Good crosser of the ball if they give him room. I'm sure Swindon will know that and won't give him room. Whitlow. This is Philpott again. That's not a bad cross, but it was well read by Ling. Now Bodin for Swindon. Hit long for Maskell to chase. Richard Smith, the covering player for Leicester. And Poole got his foot so effectively behind that ball that Joachim was caught offside at the other end.
Yes, that's the third time in the game that an offside decision has been given, and each time it's because of this irritating new rule where the goalkeeper's having to kick the ball down the field from back passes. A forward goes to challenge, he can't get back in time, the defence moves out, and we have a stoppage in the game with a free kick.
And it was supposed to cut out that very thing. I agree with you, it is an irritating new rule. It's a season old now, and I'd like to see it be a one-season wonder, and I'm sure quite a lot of other people in football would, although there's quite a few who wouldn't, to be fair. Here's Moncur. Bodin. That's a good ball for Ling. Some of the overlapping. And it goes deep, and well read by Smith. Whitlow, the former Leeds United player, finding Thompson. Well played. Gary Mills. Walsh the target here. Good handling by Fraser Digby, because Walsh is a very awkward customer when he's coming in at you like that. A big, powerful man.
Yeah, he's very strong in the air, Steve Walsh, and he's very good at pulling away at the back post. Quite a good touch for a big man, and it's quite an inspired move by Brian Little this season to give him those games up front when we're failing to find the net regularly, and he's done pretty well. Gary Mills getting plenty of room.
The former Nottingham Forest player finds David Oldfield. Smith. Oh, that was cut out by McLaren. Now Bodin. Mitchell. McLaren. Poor ball by him. And then Hill gives it away to Summerby. 4-5 men forward here, Swindon. Maskell is one of them. Looking for Mitchell in the box, and Hill had to take control then for Leicester at the expense of a corner.
This is where Swindon have been quite good this season. Sean Taylor comes from the edge of the box, and he's got a big leap and scored several goals from set pieces. I think he's got almost double figures.
Yes, you're right. He's got 12 goals, in fact, an incredible total for a central defender. Number 6 he is, and he's gone to a position on the near post. Calderwood, Mitchell also threats when the ball is played in high. That's Taylor. And the linesman has flagged there. I'm not quite sure why. We saw some infringement. Maybe the ball went out of play as it was flighted in from the corner. Anyway, Leicester have possession, so it doesn't really matter.
Interesting to see Hoddle up for that corner. That's not usually one of his fortes, heading, but he went up to the far post for that corner. Taylor, who I was suggesting goes on the edge of the box, went to the near post, and I'm sure that's some thought of management there, changing the positions around.
Oldfield for Leicester. Calderwood's challenge. Richard Smith can get quite some distance on these throws. Walsh is the usual target. Goes in even beyond him, and again Fraser Digby anticipated it well. Bodin looking for Ling, but it wasn't a good ball. Leicester have it back with Mills. Walsh, good header. Joachim. Oh, that's lovely play by the teenager. And eventually, but with some difficulty, Swindon win it back.
I just sensed a little bit of nervousness there when Joachim, his first touch, picked up that ball, intended to back off.
Here's Agnew. No problem again for Fraser Digby. And as ever, Swindon get it moving forward as quickly as possible. McLaren. Mitchell did well then. Now Ling. Good ball for Moncur. Thompson's challenge. And it was good enough to win it back for Leicester. Whitlow. Thompson. A lot of room on the right for Mills. Oldfield outside him. He opts for the shot. And that might well have caught Fraser Digby slightly wrong-footed. He hasn't scored this season, Gary Mills. Would have been some place to open his account.
Yeah, well, there he is. Good drive. European Cup finalist, of course, with Nottingham Forest. I signed Gary Mills from Notts County. He's been a marvellous signing for Leicester, but he's getting a lot of room in this game, and Steve Thompson's finding him with crossfield balls. McLaren, who's in the centre of midfield, sometimes on the left, sometimes centre, is just tucked in a little bit too much when the play's on the left, and Leicester are getting out too easily on their right.
Thompson for Leicester City. Mills is there again, coming infield this time. And finding Joachim. Thompson. Agnew takes over. Smith. Thompson links most things together in midfield for Leicester. Agnew is having to stretch here and did well. Now Whitlow powering forward. Philpott on the left wing. And he finds him. Cross goes in flat and was well read by Calderwood, who was happy to concede the throw. Smith. Thompson takes over. Now Whitlow. Looking for Walsh, far edge of the penalty area. Knocks it down to Smith. In it goes to Joachim. Philpott's in behind him. Joachim there again. And then Oldfield. And Swindon were rocking for a moment then. It's a good spell this by Leicester City. Excellent work by Gary Mills again. Hoddle's clearance was a good one though. Moncur. Lovely use of the ball by players on both sides so far. Bodin knocking it long, looking for Mitchell. Hill did well then. And it really is ebbing and flowing, this game, between both the sides. It's been an excellent start. 18 minutes gone. Good football. No goals yet. Thompson. Joachim missed with his intended header. Sean Taylor, the covering defender. Now Ross McLaren. This is Martin Ling. Well, he was always running into trouble there, really. But Swindon had it back. Well, it's one of the biggest pitches in the country, but there doesn't seem to be much room out there at the moment. He'll find some. Ling. McLaren. Leicester bided their time, and the ball was gifted back to them.
Yeah, you can play Swindon two ways. You can go and try and win it early and close them down and harass them and harry them, or you can try and sit off them and wait for them to make a mistake. That looks like Leicester's policy when Swindon have the ball deep in defence.
Oldfield found some room in the middle. Mills outside it. He's big and strong, and when he gets going, he's difficult to stop. This is Thompson, who's got a good shot. 11 goals from midfield this season. A player you know plenty about, of course, David.
Yeah, we signed him from Bolton at Luton under freedom of contract, and I exchanged him reasonably quickly, one could say, for two very exciting young players from Leicester. Two of the camp of Leicester's good youth scheme, and of course it was Al's side at the sign that managed to attract Julian Joachim to Leicester too. Our chief scout, Sammy Chapman, did a marvellous job there. One of the best young players I've ever worked with.
Oh, you did have him then in the last few days, yeah?
Outstanding schoolboy signing. Very good player, very pacey, very young though. And at the moment, in this atmosphere today, the youngest player on the field, not going to be easy for him to get into the game. He needs controlled passing from midfield. Leicester will need Agnew and Thompson to get plenty of ball.
Agnew and David Ellery comparing haircuts there, I think. I should talk. Here's Hoddle. Driven out to the left wing to Bodin. Smith makes the interception. Taylor's having to track back here. And Digby gets his foot right behind the ball. It was a heck of a clearance. Smith's under pressure. Mitchell almost got between him and the other goalkeeper, Kevin Poole. Whitlow. And he sees it again. Hill knocking it forward, looking for Walsh. And the referee's given a free kick against Walsh for a foul on Colin Calderwood. The Swindon captain in possession. Joachim made it hard for him then. Hoddle was there as a way out. Mitchell won the header, but there was no one up in support. Incidentally, this is Leicester City's 6th appearance at Wembley, most of them, of course, before Brian Little took charge. And would you believe they've lost the previous 4 FA Cup finals, the last time in 1969, and last season's playoff against Blackburn. 0-0 midway through the first half here against Swindon. They're playing for riches, a place in the Premier League.
It's nice to see two teams placing so much emphasis on possession of the ball. Both teams trying to care for the ball when they get it and pass the ball carefully and along the ground.
Swindon have gained a few yards and another throw-in. Mitchell has Hill right behind him, and Whitlow whipped it off his toe, and that's a corner. Watch again here for Swindon's key man coming forward for the kick. Taylor, Calderwood, Mitchell. Hoddle this time has gone to a position near the edge of the box. Summerby will take the kick. Hoddle's now gone near post. It's lofted high towards Taylor. Oldfield got it away. Joachim got there just ahead of McLaren. But now Ling has it for Swindon. Bodin. Such confidence on the part of players on both sides in sweeping the ball about like that. This is Summerby. Good challenge. Excellent tackle from Whitlow. Now Philpott. Walsh. Whitlow knocks it long. Joachim will use his pace to get in behind the central defenders here. And that's a goal kick, not the corner that Julian Joachim was hoping for. He's only 18, and he has got lightning acceleration, hasn't he, David?
Yeah, we used to call him the little Brazilian. He's really got lower body power, and he's got a tremendous thighs and explosive pace, really. He's a good jumper. He's got terrific spring. and he's really emerged under Brian Little at a very young age. But I have to tell you, I'm not too surprised. He was really outstanding at 13, 14 and 15 years of age.
Clattering challenge there by Richard Smith on David Mitchell. Swindon's free kick. Tough guy, Mitchell, no problem. He'll pick himself up and get on with it. Knocks it forward. Summerby winning the header. Maskell is in there. Nobody knew where it was for a moment. Summerby did. And now Maskell. Well, that was a rather disappointing effort at the end of a promising moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Summerby was a little bit fortunate there to win the referee's favour as he went for that ball, and the ball managed to get through to Maskell. He couldn't get his feet in line, and it was a little bit of a unbalanced toe poke with his left foot that left it rather easy for Kevin Poole.
Mills for Leicester. Oldfield. Whitlow getting forward well, and Philpott outside him, and he finds him. They're queuing up for a good cross here, and a good cross comes in towards Walsh. Well, that was a bit of vintage Leicester City play, and Steve Walsh, who scored 12 in 19 games since being moved forward from centre-half to centre-forward, on the end of this excellent cross.
Yeah, that's the ball where Philpott likes it. Nice ball, got up well, but Sean Taylor did well to back in right at the back post, just put Steve Walsh off enough to prevent him heading it back across the goal.
Bowden for Swindon. Loses out. Oldfield. And that's a foul. John Gregory on his feet, one of the experienced assistants that Brian Little has here. Alan Evans, former Villa man, another. Very good team he's got together behind the scenes as well as on the field. Whitlow. That's a good cross. Oldfield. Thompson. Good move by Leicester City.
Just couldn't quite get over that ball on the half volley. Here's Whitlow on that ball on the left. Got bodies in the box for the first time. Plenty of bodies there. When the ball comes out, it's Oldfield. Picks the ball up, heads it across. Just not able to keep the ball down.
There's Oldfield again winning it. But Moncur gets it back, and that's a dangerous ball. And it's Maskell taking on Poole, and the goalkeeper had to go all the way to the edge of his territory to get that ball.
You just feel at times that Maskell and Mitchell have just got a little bit of space either side of the two Leicester centre-backs, particularly as Mills and Whitlow are joining in now as Leicester have got much more into the game.
Charged from behind by Whitlow. That has to be a free kick to Swindon, and the referee will want to speak to Whitlow.
I must say how much the referees have come on this season. They started off in black, and then it was green and purple. I'm sure David Ellery, I'm not sure what he thinks of his white trim around his black shorts, but the referee just the same. It's no different if they were professional referees or as they are today. The referee, honestly.
And the colour of the card shown to Whitlow, the same as the colour of the referee's jersey. It's a yellow one. Two players booked now. Summerby of Swindon, Whitlow of Leicester. Mitchell won a good header, and it was just behind Maskell. Had it just been ahead of him, there would have been an opening. Looking for Walsh, and I think it was Joachim ahead of him who was offside. Swindon Town's third time in the playoffs this, by the way. They won the old third division playoff in 1987 against Gillingham after a replay, and of course, as you know, beat Sunderland 1-0 here in 1990. Although, as you've heard, it was Sunderland who went up because the authorities decided to keep Swindon down because of illegal payments to players. It's a cruel experience then for Swindon and their supporters, particularly their supporters, who are innocent, of course, of any misdemeanours. And there's still a feeling of injustice in Swindon about the whole affair. Here's Hoddle. Took a chance then with Mills flying in on him. Taylor gets it clear. Well, the hallmark of every great player is not to be hurried in possession, but Mills achieved the seemingly impossible of hurrying Glenn Hoddle into it then. Here goes Ling for Swindon. Joachim's challenge, and I'm not sure that was a foul. I really don't agree with the referee on that. I thought Joachim made a decent challenge for the ball there.
Well, you're not alone. There's 40,000 people sitting to our right that also agree with you, and I tend to agree with you also, Alan. I think that he was a little bit fortunate there. There you see Ling running the ball. Joachim gets in front of him, really. Actually, in fact, he doesn't take the ball. So I think David Ellery, on reflection, is, as usual, correct.
Hoddle's free kick. Mitchell getting up well. Hill gets it clear. Hoddle straight back in. Maskell. It's a second shooting opportunity, and he didn't, again, really have the time to strike his shot properly. Mills. Driven long for Walsh. Wasn't a bad ball. Calderwood hustled aside by Walsh. And did that go over the line? The linesman is flagging, however, to Leicester's disappointment, and Calderwood's relief at a goal kick.
Well, Steve Walsh didn't seem to make a fuss about that, but I thought that could well have been a Leicester corner.
0-0. 14 minutes remaining in the first half. Good interception from Whitlow, and again a good strong challenge as Maskell came in. This is Agnew, taken off him by Ross McLaren. Leicester have had an inconsistent sort of season. Their best spell came in March when they had 7 consecutive league victories, but they only won 1 of their last 5 games, and they had that 7-1 thumping up at Newcastle United towards the end of the season. Here's Ling for Swindon. Swindon who finished 5th on 76 points, the same total in fact as Leicester. John Gorman, the ex-Spurs, Celtic and Carlisle player, is the number 2 to Glenn Hoddle, and obviously when Glenn is actually playing, he's the man who runs it from the touchline.
And quite an influence too, Alan, sitting on the other bench twice this season against Swindon. Very important part of the Swindon setup, because often the manager playing in centre-back can't see the whole field as easily as the man on the bench.
That was difficult there for Poole, the goalkeeper. Mitchell made sure it was difficult, and Poole did well under pressure. Whitlow drives it forward, and Joachim was offside. He'd only need 1 opportunity to spring that trap, though. Beginning of the season, Julian Joachim, who's only 18, was still on YTS forms, I believe, at Leicester, and used to clean the senior players' boots and attend college every afternoon. Remarkable to think now he's probably one of the hottest properties in the game. We have 12 minutes remaining in the first half here of the First Division playoff final at Wembley Stadium. Leicester City 0, Swindon Town 0. The prize is a place in the Premier League. Hoddle made a stealthy run up from the back then to receive that throw. Now Summerby. It's a good ball. Moncur finds room. And then finds Bodin. In it goes towards Mitchell, and Agnew came to meet it and heads behind for a corner.
Interesting, Moncur trying to get Bodin in the game. He hasn't been in the game as much as possibly Swindon would like. It's important that he pushes forward a little bit. That will do two things. It will give Swindon a chance in possession, and it will also stop Leicester getting out so easily with Gary Mills from Steve Thompson's wide passes.
Well, they've had a couple of right-wing corners, Swindon, that they haven't made the best of yet. Let's see how they do from the other flank. Bodin to take it. Thumps it in and touched on towards Mitchell. Well, he took so long, really, to line up the shot, but the opportunity went. Here's Joachim. Well played, Summerby. Stuck tight to him then.
Tremendous challenge by Richard Smith in the box there when Mitchell looked as though he had the shooting chance. He delayed, but Smith did tremendous to block.
And here's the moment again. Leicester go forward with Mills, looking for Walsh. Him and Calderwood clash, it comes to Agnew. Walsh looking for Joachim, and the keeper had to really stretch to palm that one away. Ling gets it upfield. Mills. Hill. Thompson. And now Wicklow. Philpott to his left as ever. Oh, it's given away badly by Walsh. This is Maskell. That's what you call tight marking. Well played, Colin Hill. Forced Maskell all the way back to his own goalkeeper. Philpott. Wicklow knocks it on, but not very accurately. Calderwood's interception. Hoddle available as usual. That wasn't the best ball he's played. Straight to Oldfield. Taylor with a great saving tackle on David Oldfield. Really great challenge. Bodin knocks it long, looking for Mitchell. And Smith loses out, and then Mitchell is brought down. I think the linesman has indicated there was an offside when he received that ball. Yes, so it'll be Leicester who get the free kick, not Swindon. Meantime, David Oldfield, back inside the Swindon half, is receiving treatment.
You just get the impression at times that Swindon defensively, when they come under pressure, live a little bit dangerously. It's not just Glenn Hoddle that's comfortable on the ball. They all like to play the ball and work the ball out, and sometimes it needs a good hump.
David Oldfield, as you can see, was born in Australia, although he actually moved back to England with his English parents when he was only 4. He goes back every summer to see his relatives. He would like to go back and tell them this summer that he'd be playing in the Premier League next season. No goals then in this match with 8 minutes remaining. Perhaps this is the closest we've had so far. Good stretch there by the Swindon keeper, Digby. Taylor. Oldfield. Well, it took 2 men to dispossess him, but dispossess him they did. Now Moncur. Summerby. Maskell. Summerby goes outside him. On it goes to Moncur. And Summerby couldn't quite reach it. Goal kick.
Moncur's just looking to break a little bit now towards the Swindon front two, really. They've got a little arc in midfield of Moncur, McLaren and Ling. Hoddle sitting behind them. But if anything, they probably need a little bit more thrust coming from deeper to support Maskell and Ling. They haven't had enough efforts at goal in this half.
Strange how it goes. This is the third of the 3 playoff finals I've been to this weekend, and in each case the first half was very tight Nothing between the sides, and then inevitably at the end of a long season on this grueling sort of pitch and in this kind of weather, players tired in the second half, and the second half was much more open in both the third and the second division playoff finals. McLaren. Maskell. Turned into trouble. Thompson takes it off him, and now Philpott. McLaren struggling to keep up with him. Make sure, why don't you? Nicky Summerby thumped that one over the line.
He did a good job there, McLaren, trying to stay with Philpott, giving Summerby a chance to get round and put that ball into touch, but Richard Smith will sling it into that 6-yard box again.
5 minutes to half-time, 0-0. In it goes towards Walsh, who got the touch to Joachim, and Oldfield arrives. Ooh, he almost squeezed that one in between the goalkeeper's right hand and the post. Good save by Fraser Digby. Leicester still in possession. Goal kick.
Leicester certainly come more into the game. Here you see that throw, Richard Smith. It is a weapon that Leicester have used effectively all season. Walsh's presence causing confusion. Oldfield taking it off Joachim, and that shot on the turn which Digby just covers at the near post. But once again, Leicester beginning to power into the game a little bit and pushing Swindon back.
This is Thompson for Leicester. Whitlow. Back it goes to Thompson. On to Walsh. Good ball for Whitlow. Agnew takes it off him. I think he thought that Philpott was continuing his run outside him then, but he wasn't. He was wrong. Hoddle. Ling. Now Moncur. They've gone from left to right flank. Summerby whips it into Maskell. Well played. Hoddle. The magic of the player-manager has forged a crucial goal for Swindon Town. 3 minutes to half-time. You could almost have written the script.
Good hold-up play here by Maskell, and a lovely little touch. Look at the way he bent that ball, didn't try and knock the ball, and held out the ball. He just placed that ball around the goalkeeper. That's the clever little bit of play. The imagination of Hoddle to get round the side of him, and a marvellous placed shot. Jimmy Greaves would have been proud of that. You pass it into the net.
Leicester trying to hit back instantly. 3 minutes of the first half remaining. Glenn Hoddle's third goal of the season has given Swindon Town a little bit of daylight here. Beautifully finished. Excellently set up by Maskell. A typical Swindon Town goal, because in the build-up they swept the ball from left flank to right. Kept creating. Kept their accuracy and style, which has been their hallmark all season, and his hallmark throughout his career. Walsh goes down under the challenge, and Leicester get a free kick. The stadium really brought to life by that goal now. A beautiful, colourful sight anyway today, as we were saying beforehand, with the red and the white. And now, of course, it's the red half in ecstasy. The referee will bring the ball back here because he's given a free kick to Swindon, and they took it a little bit too quickly. I don't think he really made his instructions very clear to the players there, David Ellery, and I think that's why the confusion happened.
Well, it looked as though he'd given a free kick for Walsh being mishandled or manhandled. The linesman then gave an offside, similar to a recent incident on the far side there with Mitchell, and he gave it in favour of Swindon because the offside, the linesman's flag had been raised before he gave the decision for the free kick. And then when Moncur tries to run away with the ball, he got also manhandled, and David Ellery hadn't allowed play to go on. So there you see it there. Moncur, not really the strongest, but he got some really tough challenges there. Almost 3.
So at the end of that moment of absolute confusion, the ball is out of play again, and it's Leicester's throw. They're a goal behind. Glenn Hoddle has given Swindon the lead. Juchin beaten by Calderwood. Moncur. Bowden. Now Ling. Bowden's there again. And again. But he's given it away this time to Thompson. And that's a good ball for Whitlow. Calderwood wins it back. McLaren going in like a train on Thompson. Brilliant play. Ling. Mitchell free on the left flank. We're into stoppage time. On it goes to Mitchell. Bowden. Moncur. The goal scorer, the player manager, the maestro. Crossfield ball has almost produced a corner at a goal kick.
Yeah, a wonderful play. Hoddle always available. It's marvellous to see when the ball goes wide, he always follows the ball across, so he's available to have the ball back to switch the ball from the next pass. Outstanding playing deep for Swindon. Just like in a strange way, Steve Thompson is playing quite outstandingly for Leicester, also coming very deep to accept the ball and spread the ball wide.
We've had a minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Swindon Town leading by a 1-0 here. Swindon have never played amongst the elite of English football in the history which stretches back over 100 years. Leicester City have never won at Wembley on their previous 5 visits. Here's Walsh. Taken away by Summerby, who whacks it gloriously upfield. Smith turning it back. And Poole panicked a little bit when he saw Maskell coming in on him. Well won back here by Ling for Swindon. Agnew denying him any room, but he keeps possession. McLaren and Ling again. Swindon's throw-in, and they'll only just about have time to take it. They've had a couple of minutes added already. In fact, the referee has given a free kick. Even Swindon were a bit bemused by that one. Summerby will take it. Not a bad one either. Mitchell coming in behind Poole, and the goalkeeper did really well for Leicester then. His handling had to be immaculate. That's half-time. Leicester City 0, Swindon Town 1. Let's have the views of Glenn Hoddle's assistant, John Gorman, talking to Gary Newbold.
Tremendous goal by Glenn. What about your thoughts on the first half?
Oh, it's been a very good game. Magic crowd. Leicester's played well, we passed the ball well, and it's been a very entertaining game. But we were just starting to build up nicely, and the move that the goal came from was excellent, and Craig Maskell done ever so well, held it up back heel for Glenn. What a finish for Glenn Hoddle. He scored in the first game of the season, and he scored today. So
what are you going to tell the players now?
We're just going to keep it going and be patient and not get too excited now, because there's still another 45 minutes. It's going to be a very hard game. Thanks, Gary.
Well, yeah, we'll have another look at that Glenn Hoddle goal after this short break. Back. So Swindon 1, Leicester 0, and really, Jim, it was a game that's been nice to watch, but there hasn't been an awful lot of goal-mouth incidents.
Well, hardly any. I mean, up until the goal, really, both goalkeepers could have had a walkabout and not really bothered themselves. But as you say, a lot of good football's been played, but very little penetration. Very little penetration.
Let's look then at the little gem, because it was a gem.
The one time when it really all did happen was, and it's a great back heel, isn't it, from Mitchell? Great back heel. And Glenn Hoddle, we all know that he's going to shoot like that because that's his forte. It always has been. He never blasts the ball. It's a side foot pass into the back of the net, beautifully executed. No answer to that. No team in the world has got an answer to that.
Well, there you are, Jim. Now, Hoddle's playing as a sweeper. He's been playing at the back, and yet he pops up there and knocks it in. Now, that surely, for me, is an indication of how the game should be played.
Yeah.
If you're playing as a sweeper.
Well, he showed well there, obviously. We know that. In fact, he's done it a couple of times. He's popped up, but the ball hasn't quite reached him. That particular time it did. And really, when you're looking at an England team that we've got, this bloke's the only bloke who's been passing it all around the stadium, and he's found everybody. Different class.
Let's look at Leicester's couple of efforts they had.
Yeah,
as you say, not an awful lot.
At one time, they looked to get into the game and looked to take command, and this indeed was a good pass, good cross by Philpott, and I think Walsh never really had a chance at that. It was always a bit too long for him. This one was actually the first time, and this was towards the end of the half, where actually somebody had a shot on goal, and it was Oldfield, and he actually made the keeper actually save it.
Digby had to make the save.
He did, which was a shock to his system.
Yeah, well, now, where can Leicester get the goal from, Jim? Because it looked to me as if they're really not got many ideas.
They're not showing a great deal of imagination. I think this half, it's going to be even harder for them because they've got a very strong wind. Now, what I would be doing with Joachim being as quicker than anybody on the field, I'd be looking to get the ball down the channel.
Yes.
And because he will get past the Swindon players. He's got the pace, but they're going to have to do that. They didn't do it in the first half, or even when they tried to do it, their execution wasn't good. So if I was Leicester, I'd be looking to get that ball over the back of the Swindon defence and let Joachim have a go at it.
Well, we'll see if they do that in the second half.
Why not? Yes.
Now it's competition time, and first the winner of our most recent quiz. Keith Thompson from Andover will be enjoying the England-Brazil-US Cup match in Washington on June 13th for correctly telling us that England were knocked out of the 1990 World Cup by Germany. Right now, our next poser, and we're offering a VIP trip for two to Detroit for the England-Germany match on June 19th with American Airlines. If you can tell us who scored England's first goal against Germany in the 1966 World Cup final.
Very difficult.
The number to call, 0891 335533. That's 0891 335533. And the lines are open now, and your call will last no longer than 1 minute. Well, it's time for another break now. When we come back, it's the second half of Leicester against Swindon. Stay with us.
Hard at the dial, the number.
Welcome back to Wembley. The team's still in the dressing rooms. And Jimmy, I was just thinking there that it's going to be ever so difficult now for Leicester because Swindon are one team that when they get in front, they keep a hold of the ball. And here at Wembley, you know, their confidence will build, and I think they'll knock it around, and it's going to be very difficult for Leicester to get it off them.
Well, you're quite right. They're a very good football inside, and they can play keep ball extraordinarily well. And I do think that the wind, as I say, won't suit Leicester's game now, because they've got to try and get behind the Swindon defence, and the ball won't hold up like it did in the first half. So they have got difficulties, no question.
In the early stages, you know, they were rampaging down the right. Mills was getting a tremendous amount of room down the right-hand side. Swindon seemed to have resolved that a little bit. Either that or Mills got fed up doing it, and he's maybe feeling the pace a bit. It's hard work for them. He was running 60 yards there.
Yeah, and actually, although he was getting out, and there was a lot of room down there, they actually didn't really create anything from that particular part of the field. When They should have done. So whilst we were saying they're getting plenty of room out there, yeah, I don't know, maybe Swindon were quite happy to let them have the ball out there because nothing happened.
No end product to the whole
nothing
thing.
really. I mean, Leicester have not. The bottom line to this game so far is that Leicester have not got to grips with the situation at all. No. Swindon have to a degree, particularly the last 5 minutes when they scored the goal, which was superbly executed, beautiful build-up. That was the one time where the one side showed its real class. The other side hasn't done so far.
I thought that Thompson playing in midfield for Leicester's having a good game. And he is one player, Jim. He's had a couple of pots that go from sort of 25 yards, 30 yards. But they've got to get the ball in and give him a chance near a goal, I would think.
He's having a good... Leicester are not playing badly here. We know that. But what they're not doing is they're not penetrating. You know, we all know you've got to get in that box and you've got to score. To score goals, you've got to get in that box. It's no good arguing about 25-yard shots.
Well, the teams are on their way out there, and I think Gary Newborn is down there with Brian Little.
Good.
Brian, obviously a big blow for you, giving a goal away 3 minutes before half-time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think the game was fairly even. They've had a little bit more possession at times than us in midfield. We're going to try and push on them a little bit more. We need to get one or two decent balls in the box, which we haven't done as much as we would like to do. But we've got to get in amongst them. We've got to get midfield players close to theirs, midfield players around to their box, and we've got to gamble a little bit. But we're going to have a go at it.
You'll be hoping, of course, that Leicester eventually win here. Leicester, over the years, can't win here.
Yeah, well, we'll try and sort that one out. Hopefully today will be the day.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Alan Parry with David Fleet back here in the commentary box. Glenn Hoddle's goal separating the sides, and as was said at the time, you don't need to absolutely blast the leather off the ball to find the back of the net, and he caressed it into the net. Beautiful goal. But Leicester City are not the type of side to lay down and die. Of that you can be absolutely certain, and I think we will see them perform better in this second half as they get the half underway. Attacking now from left to right. Leicester City all in blue, remember. Swindon all in red. A place in the Premier League next season is the trophy they're playing for. Agnew did well to keep that in, and Calderwood didn't quite know what to do with that, and Hoddle played the most outrageously cheeky ball back to him there, and they got away with that, Swindon. They've more than got away with it. They've turned defence into attack. Maskell. Bowden. Back on to Maskell. And Leicester City concede the throw. Richard Smith's clearance. Taylor, Moncur and Ling. These two move around and create so much room in the middle of the field. Moncur again. Good ball for Bowden. Mitchell makes the run towards the penalty spot, but it goes in along the ground, and it still comes to Mitchell. And now to Ling, and back to Mitchell. Couldn't blunder his way through those three defenders, though. Oldfield just misses out. Taylor intercepts. On it goes to Maskell. He's onside. He has Mitchell in the box, otherwise it's full of Leicester defenders. So he goes outside the box to Moncur. Good run by him, and now Maskell! Swindon Town's leading scorer has taken them a step closer to the Premier League.
Well, that's an absolutely brilliant finish by Maskell. Always been a scorer. It was a calm, composed build-up. Moncur threatened to shoot, took the ball on, was slightly lucky there. And then that outstretched leg of the Leicester defender, Gary Mills, just beaten. And didn't he place that ball perfectly? Now we will see an onslaught by Leicester, and I'm sure it will be marvellous for the game. If I was asked to predict privately before the game, I suggested 3-2 to Leicester. They're going to have the work cut out to do that now, but no two halves are ever similar. and I would expect Leicester to really go for Swindon now, and Swindon have to defend really cleverly for the rest of the game.
A goal either side of half-time. Apart from the interval, just 5 minutes separated them. The 42nd and 47th minutes. And it's given Swindon Town now a marvellous platform to go on and clinch, for the first time in their history, a place in the Premier League. Leicester have to get a goal back soon, you feel, to give them any life now, to give them any hope. This is the captain, Gary Mills. Now Hill. On to Joachim. Agnew just outside him. Philpott forces it through to Walsh, and Walsh goes down, but no penalty is awarded. Well, it must have been a heart-in-the-mouth moment for Swindon Town. Smith throwing it in, and the referee's in fact given a free kick against Walsh.
It's very important now that Leicester keep calm and don't lose their cool, because they're going to have to play with a little bit more balls forward quicker, as Jimmy Greaves was suggesting at half-time. Try and get Joachim in the channels, but of course that's not so easy if Swindon sit deep. Here we see the incident there with Walsh.
And looking at it again, I think the referee was spot on, really. He just fell over Taylor's outstretched leg. There was no intent. There's a good ball from Ling to Mitchell. Good covering by Colin Hill. Mills. Smith has got loads of time to move forward here. The time is not on Leicester City's side in the game. They're 2 behind. The official attendance just been given me 73,802. Joachim. He could be the man to get Leicester back into this game if anyone can. But he has not earned the corner he was hoping for there. We can have another look at Swindon's second goal here. Craig Maskell, just as he did in the first, had a key part to play. This time he was the finisher. He'd been the provider for Hoddle just before half-time. It's his 24th goal of the season.
We talk about goal attempts. Jimmy was talking about goal attempts at half-time, but I would suggest that Swindon have scored 2 out of possibly 5 goal attempts, so that's a pretty good percentage.
Bit of a flare up there. Thompson and then Walsh getting angry with John Moncur. Referee will calm it all down. I think he wants to speak to Walsh as well. Well, Brian Little had been saying, hadn't he, just seconds earlier when he was being interviewed in the tunnel, that they would give it a go, and then seconds later, almost as he'd taken his place on the bench there, he saw a second goal conceded, and he saw the mountain grow a little higher. Hill. Joachim. Taylor comes in and wins it off him. And this is Ling just behind Mitchell. Philpott. Intercepted by Ling. McLaren. Summerby out on the right.
This should be the classic stage now for Swindon. 2 goals up at Wembley. Lovely grass. The breeze has dropped a little bit, and they pass the ball along the floor. And if they can keep doing that and keep possession of the ball, they'll make it difficult for Leicester.
It's the Wiltshire sound that's echoing around Wembley Stadium at the moment. They lead Leicester City by 2 goals to 0. Smith has caused problems, though, to Swindon with these long throws already in this game. And there's another one aimed towards Walsh. The goalkeeper got a fist to it, and Bodin got it away. And Smith has given it away to Moncur. Lovely play. Oh, well played, John Moncur. That was excellent. Ling. It's a good, positive run forward. And he's got Summerby coming up in support. And finds him. And he's won a corner. That was really good counter-attacking play by Swindon.
Moncur's got a lovely skillful touch, and once again, like Steve Thompson of Leicester, when he comes deep and has the ball, he can weave all sorts of patterns.
Moncur has earned this corner with his skill. And it goes high towards Taylor. Walsh got there ahead of him, though. Moncur plays it back in again, and no offside! And Taylor has scored! And that surely means it's the Premier League for Swindon Town now! The big defender gets his 13th goal of the season. He who hesitates pays the price. Taylor threw his head in where it hurts, and he is rewarded with the most crucial goal of Swindon's season.
That's a 13th goal this season for Taylor, and 13, lucky 13.
There was a caution. I'm not sure why. As we were watching the replay of the goal, Steve Walsh of Leicester maybe said something to the referee, and he has gone into the book. It's surely impossible for Leicester to come back from this. Is it? There are only 10 minutes gone in the second half. They've got time to do it. Here's Whitlow. Did well, and Walsh, I'm afraid to say, hit that one rather like a centre-half, not a centre-forward.
Yeah, Brian Little are looking at his substitute options at the moment. He's got Ian Ormondroyd and Colin Gibson. Ian Ormondroyd only really gives them height up front. He could put him on and manoeuvre with Steve Walsh. More likely probably playing wide left for Lee Philpott, who so far hasn't really been able to have any effect on the game. Colin Gibson, his other substitute, is very much a cover defender, and I don't know whether he could influence things.
Here's Ling. Swindon leading 3-0. On it goes for Mitchell. He'll chase and chase. And he's still battling away. And that'll just go out with it. Yes, throw in.
When we look at the replay for the goal, we'll see that there was a disagreement between the referee and the linesman, and of course it's the referee's decision that's count. The referee gave the corner, the linesman was happy enough to give the goal kick. But the corner it was, and eventually it resulted in Taylor heading that goal.
Maybe that's what Walsh was arguing about when he was cautioned. The ball comes to Maskell. Agnew gets it away. This is Mills. Oldfield's made a good run up front. He finds Jochin, challenged by McLaren. Now Thompson. Whitlow has Philpott hugging the left touchline. And Oldfield gets it back to him. That's a good ball. Philpott's cross is an excellent one. Walsh is there! And Jochin buries the rebound! Leicester have a moment of hope.
Superb deep cross, ideal for Walsh. Back across the goal, hit the post, and Joachim reacts first. And Jimmy Greaves was talking about lack of efforts at goal. Well, we've had 4 goals already, and I think there's more to come, Alan.
Well, I personally enjoyed the first half. The second half is proving even better, and it's only 12 minutes old.
The first half lacked the frenzy that some enjoy in the goalmouth, but for purists, it was all poise and style. And no 2 halves are ever the same, and this half's exploded now.
Did I discount Leicester City too early? Did Swindon Town discount them too early? Here goes Jochin flying forward again. Tackled by Taylor. Ball's gone out of play, but it's a goal kick. Julian Jochin's 14th goal this season. The 18-year-old has given Leicester City a lifeline.
We used to have to take him to the train station to make sure he caught the correct train when he used to come on his school holidays, Alan. He's come a long way. I'm sure he knows when to report for training now and what to do.
He certainly knew what to do when that ball came out to him. He buried it into the back of Swindon's net. Only 18. Moncur. Ling. Whitlow took it off him, but Hoddle's in control. The long ball aimed at Mitchell. Smith's clearance. Moncur onto it again. Did well there, did really well. He's had an excellent game, John Moncur. Now Bowden. Moncur again. Maskell. Plays it on for Mitchell, and it breaks to Ling. Back in towards Mitchell. The whistle's gone. It's a free kick anyway, as Smith and Mitchell have a minor disagreement. Free kick to Leicester.
Once again, the standard of crossing has been pretty good. Kevin Poole made a little bit of a mess of that one.
Free kick to Leicester. And they picked up the pace, and they've got the bit between their teeth. But they're still 2 goals behind. Thompson. Oh, good ball that was. Mills. That's a foul. Bowden committed himself then and has paid the price. Free kick. And goodness me, if Leicester get another one back, this place really will be buzzing. Steve Thompson is their real free kick expert. He can have a strike on goal, though. You would think from here, you would think anyway, that's perhaps not really on. Philpott's the other one. Huddled over the ball. And in it goes. And the header by Smith must have caught a Swindon defender because they've got a corner. And this is where Leicester are strong from corners. Swindon will know that. They will fear that. And it's a well-flighted corner too. Walsh gets up and knocks it back into the danger zone. Hill prods it on to Agnew. It's only a throw for Leicester.
Richard Smith coming over to take this throw in again. I think Glenn Hoddle had a word with his goalkeeper before the game and has asked him to deal with as many of these throws as possible.
He won't be able to deal with that one. Taylor got it away, and then Moncur, but all the pressure on the Swindon goal now. They lead 3-1. Hoddle battling away with Joachim, and the decision has gone in Swindon's favour.
I think Brian Little must have had a word with Richard Smith at half-time. In the first half, he was throwing him into that box, and the goalkeeper was coming for them and making sure that Leicester couldn't get anything out of them. But there was a flatter throw, impossible for the goalkeeper, Digby, to come and take.
Thompson for Leicester City. Very much back in the picture at the moment. Mills. Hoddle intercepts. Ling plays it back to him. I don't think he really wanted it then. And well played Walsh to take it off him. And then he's fouled by Hoddle. And Hoddle's going to be cautioned. He hasn't had too many of them in his career.
He's had 1 or 2 this season, actually, Alan, and you know, it's bound to happen, particularly when you play at the back. All his career he's played more in the middle third of the field. This season he's played at the back, and just occasionally you have to go for a challenge and you're a little bit late. There he's got caught. He thought that ball was going into touch. Walsh did exceptionally well to keep it in play. And there's Hoddle going a little bit late on Walsh of all people.
Well, he was getting his shirt tugged and everything before that. It was a bit harsh by Mr. Ellery himself. Anyway, he's booked, and the free kick goes in, and the header flies just wide from Smith. Not scored this season, and that would have been a very useful moment to open his account, wouldn't it?
Yeah, lovely ball, flighted. Gives the man running in plenty of time to assess his movement. And Richard Smith's not far wide there.
Well, it's an intriguing stage of the game, this, with Leicester having seemingly come back from the dead, 3-0 down, back to 3-1, and very much controlling things at the moment. Another goal, David, for Leicester now, and we really would be a boiling point.
Yes, I think that 1-0 at half-time, one expected some kind of Leicester assault. The second goal will really have got the Leicester blood boiling, and they're going to really throw everything now at Swindon. I don't know if Swindon have got the pace to counter-attack against them. What they must do is keep very calm when they gain possession and try and build a play and keep the ball away from Leicester. Time is so valuable.
Well played, Whitlow, for Leicester. Philpott. Agnew. Well, he really invited Digby to come and collect that, and he didn't let him down. Fraser Digby, one of the few who remains from the old third division playoff final 6 years ago, and also played against Sunderland 3 years ago.
I was fortunate enough to be at that game against Sunderland, and it was a most marvellous exhibition of football by Swindon.
Smith driving it on again. Good header away by Calderwood, though. Mitchell retrieves it for Swindon, and this is Moncur. And that's a free kick, foul by Thompson. "25 minutes to go. Leicester City 1, Swindon Town 3. Hoddle takes the free kick. Glorious ball, Bowden. Headed away by Smith, but there's Ling, and now Bowden. Mills wins it back for Leicester. That's a good challenge from Moncur. He's my man of the match, Moncur, so far anyway. Ling. Maskell. Mitchell on the far post. Hill got it away. McLaren to Ling. On to Maskell. Back to Ling again. Keep possession, that's the order at the moment for Swindon. But they haven't done so. Agnew. Taylor gets it away, a rock at the back for Swindon. Lovely little turn by Ling.
This boy's been really exciting all season for me, for Swindon, Ling. He's had a career in the lower leagues, but this year he's played outstandingly well.
Well, McLaren got the pass all wrong then, and Leicester have it back with Philpott. Walsh driving it on too deep. Do you think Brian Little might be thinking about changing something now, David, and a substitution perhaps, or would you leave it if you were him?
Yes, I think I would leave it and hope. I think he's got his best 11 on the field. I think both sides came in today's game with all players fit, the players that they want, the players that are important to them. And I'm quite sure that Brian Little would feel that this is his best combination and they've got to stick at it. I do feel, however, that Swindon might make a change.
Ling goes forward, but Mitchell's offside.
It wouldn't surprise me if Steve White came into the fray in the last 15 minutes to add a little bit of surge down the channels, possibly for Maskell, you know, to give them an outlet ball if they come under even greater pressure.
The long ball for Walsh. The header down finds Thompson. Mills. Walsh wants it played in quickly, and he obliges. And Walsh's header. Calderwood gets it clear. Philpott, lovely control by him. Summerby just knocked him out of his stride, though. This will be another howitzer from Smith. No, it wasn't, because before he could get there to take it, it was taken. Philpott. Agnew. Hoddle takes it from him, but it's only as far as Mills. And still Mills, and still. And he curls it beautifully over to the far post. Philpott turning it back in again. Walsh goes up to the keeper, and it's in! It's 3-2! Incredible! The defender turned goal scorer gets goal number 16 of the season. They wouldn't give it up, Leicester.
Well, that was a genuine goal by Walsh. That's what he's best at. But didn't Mills do well early on? For a brief second, Swindon seemed to stand still when the ball was played back in. That was the position there. I think that Swindon half looked to see if the referee that thought Joe Aisham had blocked the goalkeeper, Fraser Digby, there. But Walsh did a genuine leap, and it's 3-2. I said at half-time, 3-2 the other way.
Well, what a wonderful game of football this is. Here's Bodin. Moncur, taken away from him by Whitlow. Now Walsh, what a hero he's been, a part in both the goals, scored the second, of course. Whitlow drives forward now. He's got Joachim and looks for Thompson, and Thompson has equalised! It's unbelievable stuff now! You can't pause for breath.
Marvellous play by Steve Thompson. Calm finish once again, taking the leaf out the Hoddle book, and Maskell. A placement finish, terrific break by Whitlow. Clever ball, back behind everyone. And Thompson appears first. Ling can't get there. Great finish. Great game.
Here goes Maskell for Swindon. Moncur. Ling beaten to it. Excellent play by Leicester. They really are in the driving seat now. Thompson knocks it down the line for Joachim, and he'll keep going. You can bet your life on that. 6 goals, marvellous football, great atmosphere. What an advertisement for the game this is.
It's the type of game, Alan, where commentators are caught cold because they're trying to recollect each finish, and they've had 6.
There's the record, 20 minutes to go. It would be a brave man that would place a bet on the eventual winners now. Are you brave enough, David?
Well, I think Leicester have got the power and they've got the strength. It's just whether now they can play sensibly, not commit too many forward. I think that Swindon, I've always said this, can run out of legs towards the end of the game. McLaren a little bit in midfield, struggles on recovery. Glenn Hoddle too, if there's a downside, it's that. And they've got an aging side, Swindon. I would expect Steve White to be on the field very soon.
Agnew, under pressure from Mitchell. But Leicester have got their tails up now. They look quicker, they look stronger, they look more determined. They're in the hunt and they're playing some good football. And psychologically, and that's so important in football, obviously Leicester have the upper edge now. John Gorman's face betrays that. Steve White ready to come on. A 3-0 lead has been swept away. Differing opinions about the playoffs. Personally, I think they're an absolutely wonderful idea. I thought that even before today. When you see a game of this quality, it just underlines what a boost they give to the end of the season. Here goes Agnew for Leicester City. It's a great run, and he turns it back towards Walsh, and it's tipped away by Digby before he could reach him. They look shell-shocked, Swindon. I don't know what's hit them. Moncur. McLaren. Hoddle. Somerby. That's a good ball, and Mitchell gets up well, but not quite well enough. Mills runs from his own penalty area with the ball. That was brave. Leicester even get the throw in. Everything's going their way at the moment.
I was fortunate enough to see the league game at Leicester this season, which Leicester won 4-2. And Swindon had to survive a hurricane the first 13 minutes. Leicester were 3-0 up. But Swindon kept calm on that day, kept working the ball, and in the end it finished 4-2 to Leicester. And at the moment, Swindon must keep calm.
Whitlow. Agnew. Mills. That's a good ball for Oldfield. He's done well, Oldfield. He's done very well. Well, no one really read the cross. Ling. Hoddle. Under pressure from Walsh. Still finds Somerby accurately. McLaren. Now Maskell. Foul by Smith. Swindon get the free kick. Well, Swindon relieved just to get out of their half at the moment. It's incredible to think they went 3 goals up early on in the second half, but then 3 Leicester goals in the space of 12 minutes have brought the teams level. Hoddle's free kick, looking for Mitchell. In behind him was Taylor, and he's won the corner off Steve Walsh, defending as well as attacking with a bit of style. Sean Taylor must have felt that his goal would give the passport to the Premier League. It gave Swindon a 3-0 lead, but that lead no longer exists. 15 minutes to go. Taylor's up there again, but Walsh once more beats him. Ling. Back in it goes again towards Taylor, and that's good work by Kevin Poole. Bodies all around him, but he's got the ball.
That was an important catch for Kevin Poole. That will do him good.
Can I remind you at this stage that if the teams finish level after 90 minutes, we will have half an hour of extra time. And if they still can't be separated, the playoff final will go to penalties, as the 3rd Division 1 did here on Saturday. Bowden. Mitchell's gone down injured for Swindon inside the Leicester half, just out of the picture at the moment, as Whitlow goes forward and finds Walsh. Poor control by him though. Hoddle. Mitchell still lying injured. He's on his feet now. Hoddle forward, looking for Maskell, but Poole has the ball safely at his feet.
I think if Mitchell's got any type of injury, which looks a muscle injury to me, I'm sure that will accelerate the decision to send Steve White onto the field.
That's a great header by Walsh to Oldfield, and Oldfield has Joachim in support, and it was an absolute life-saving tackle by Colin Calderwood, the Swindon captain. It really looked as though Leicester were going to score again then. Now Maskell. What a great tackle here, David.
Yeah, it did terrific, because it looked as though Joachim would be favourite if David Oldfield would have managed to squeeze that ball through. Been a very consistent performer at this level now for approximately 4 seasons. It was a fine signing. I believe it was under freedom of contract from Mansfield Town when Ian Greaves was the manager.
Hoddle have to turn away with Joachim cutting down the space. Now gets it back from Bodin. Difficult one for the keeper, this. And Agnew made sure it was even harder.
Well, they still take chances. They've just conceded 3 goals and they still refuse at times to get that ball away from the danger area. We hear managers and coaches imploring defenders to get it into row X when they're in trouble. I'm sure they never suggest that at Swindon.
Absolutely. But Leicester City too, a different brand of football, but equally admirable their contribution today. And now there's going to be a substitution. Craig Maskell, Swindon's leading scorer, will be replaced by one of their veterans, Steve White, who played in the 3rd Division playoffs 6 years ago and also against Sunderland in 1990. 7 seasons at the club, 34 now, and he's on in the final 12 minutes. Well, just to think, it's the 1st of June tomorrow. At the end of such a long and hard season, these clubs have produced a display like this. It is a wonderful, wonderful credit to both sets of players that the match has been of such a high calibre. Taylor.
And also credit to the league in general, because there's been a lot of good football played this season. Televiewers have been fortunate enough to see plenty of it, but there's other good footballing sides who didn't quite make the top 6. Teams like Grimsby and Millwall.
Here comes Ling forward. That's a good effort. Brilliant save by Poole. He's kept his side in it with that save. That was on its way. Swindon's corner. Bodin knocks it up towards Calderwood. Taylor off the line. Walsh gets it away. No end to the excitement. Ling. Calderwood and Mitchell both going up for it, and he comes out to Taylor. And Leicester have survived a scary moment. And Whitlow brings it clear for them. Jochin couldn't control it. Swindon so close to a goal. Well, it's been so good, you almost hope it goes to extra time, this. 10 minutes remaining. White. Taylor. He almost worked the oracle again then, Taylor, for Swindon. Calderwood. Bodin free on the left. On it goes for Mitchell, and Mitchell's in space here, and he's got White with him. And Poole has produced another miraculous save. Three times in quick succession, Swindon almost snatched a goal.
That was a delightful ball, played over the top. Richard Smith's chasing, but he can't get there. And there you feel Mitchell's favourite. And Poole blocks, comes out late, but blocks cleanly, gathers the ball. Leicester a little bit annoyed with the follow-up there. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
And of course, moments ago, David, Swindon almost scored before that.
Yeah, the corner of Bodin. There's that header. Good positional play that, Philpott. That's what you've got people on the line for. If the goalkeeper's beaten, they've got to get that ball away. And Swindon appear to have weathered the storm, and it was a tremendous Leicester storm, tremendous battling qualities. To come back from 3-0 down, it's good to get 1 goal. It shows great willpower to get 2. If you score 3, it's outstanding. If they get a 4th, it will be truly brilliant.
Well, to think that Swindon have been pulled back to 3-3 by Brian Little's team, and yet now, in the last few minutes, have had 3 opportunities to get another goal. Brian Little looks the calmest man in Wembley. Or does... I think the final expression really betrayed his feelings. 8 minutes to go. I think this will go down as one of the Wembley classics. And it's not over. It has to be finished today. Thompson. It's a decent ball into Walsh. Taylor's clearance to Oldfield. Thompson. Dangerous ball. White cuts it out. Well run back though by Wicklow. Now Hill knocking it on. Taylor's had an outstanding game at centre half for Swindon. Moncur. Hoddle. Knocks it long for White, and White steals in and goes down, and it's a penalty. The referee has given a penalty for a foul on the substitute. 7 minutes to go. David, please.
Well, there was once again an incredible pass, beautifully flighted. I do feel that Kevin Poole should be more alert to that ball played through, should be a little bit closer to the edge of his box there. Steve White nudged it past. It was definitely obstructed, but how many referees give obstruction an indirect free kick in that situation? It's a penalty, it's all or nothing. And Bodin, quite a sure shot, will have the opportunity here to put Swindon back in the driving seat.
A year ago, Leicester conceded a controversial penalty against Blackburn Rovers, which cost them a place in the Premier League. Is history about to repeat itself? Paul Bodin from the spot for Swindon. He scored! Six minutes to go. Bodin restores Swindon's lead. Swindon 4, Leicester 3.
It's incredible, isn't it, how it's gone to form, this game today. Goals. 145 goals have scored between them in this year's division. And today, 7 more goals.
Unbelievable game this has been. Can Leicester dredge up their reserves of courage and tenacity once again and still rescue this game in the last 5 minutes? That's not a bad ball in by Smith. Walsh goes in, but Digby gets there first. Like you, David, I must say I felt that the penalty was harsh. Some referees would have given it, most probably wouldn't. But Poole certainly took a big risk in that challenge. Here goes Moncur. Oh, he skipped past Mills' challenge. Couldn't get the cross in. Smith gets it clear. Walsh's header. Won back by Ling. Now McLaren. 4 minutes to go. Swindon lead Leicester 4-3. And Moncur's got away from his marker again. And lays it on for White. And now Bodin takes over. And looks for Mitchell. Somebody behind him on the far post. Mills momentarily has gone down with cramp. The Leicester fullback is back on his feet now, that he's clearly uncomfortable. And Paul Bodin's 12th of the season, the 5th from the spot, might, I'm not making this mistake anymore, might have given Swindon victory. But they've already lost a 3-goal lead. They could easily lose a 1-goal lead. Hill drives it on. Taylor gets it clear. Poor old Gary Mills can hardly jog, never mind run now, but he still finds the strength to cross a decent ball in.
The danger is now that Leicester will look for Walsh at every opportunity. He's asserted himself in this half in the air. He's been dangerous, and it's important that Leicester try and just be patient a little bit longer, because if they try and put that ball in from just anywhere and just kick it wildly into the box, it's going to be no good even for Walsh.
Well, it's an old cliche, I know, but you feel that this is the type of match where you don't want either side to lose. Someone has to. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be Leicester.
It's also the type of match, Alan, the second half particularly, where you don't really need a commentator.
Thanks very much. Here's Oldfield. Now Wicklow. No, I know what you mean. It's been marvellous, marvellous entertainment. Some of these clearances knocked away. Leicester have got to hold on because Swindon are going to make another substitution. Mickey Hazard's coming on for the outstanding John Moncur.
Yeah, John has been outstanding. I had him at Tottenham as a younger player. Possibly, like many of them at Tottenham, stayed a couple of years too long. But he's now beginning to come out of his shell. He's a nice footballer. And, of course, coming on is another in the Tottenham mould, Mickey Hazard, a very fine player who's suffered with injuries a lot during his career.
And Mitchell has earned the free kick for Swindon. 1.5 minutes remaining. Swindon, 3 years ago, won this equivalent match. Thought they were promoted into the top division. The authorities said no. Can they put that history behind them as Ling tries a tremendous effort? And appropriately enough, he's chosen that moment to be named as the man of the match, Martin Ling. I thought there were a few candidates myself.
There's been many outstanding candidates. If Swindon are to retain the lead, there's only one man you can possibly give it to. But there again, that's a personal view.
I'll ask you who it is in a moment. Anyway, here's Ling. White. Well played. Hazard. He sees a gap, but couldn't explode into it. Who are you referring to, David?
Well, I think Glenn Hoddle's played wonderfully. He managed to get them calm early on in the game, and they played their passing game and slowly got on top, got that first goal before half-time, which was so crucial, and has been so important in playing these clever balls through in the second half too. He's been marvellous, and he is the anchor, he's the leader.
He's got some more defending to do now as we move into stoppage time. Higby gets it clear, only as far as Philpott. Oh, and the cross flicked away, but behind for a goal kick. We are into stoppage time. Leicester City, who came back from 3 goals behind to draw level, are now 4-3 down. That was a foul on Mitchell. Just what the doctor ordered for Swindon. Well, this famous old club from Wiltshire had a wonderful time here 24 years ago. Their greatest day when they won the League Cup, beating Arsenal in the days of Don Rodgers. But this will surely surpass even that moment if they can hold on to their 1-goal lead now, deep into stoppage time. And they have a free kick. Hazard drills it in, away by Hill. Ling got that one all wrong.
Some supporters will say he got it absolutely right.
Yes.
Deep to the corner flag.
And Leicester have to just throw the ball forward as quickly as they can now. And Hazard made sure that Mills wasn't able to do that. Smith gets it away. Boding goes in and wins it back. Then Ling to Taylor. On into the corner, where they wanted it to be. We've had 2 minutes of stoppage time. Could this be Leicester's final assault? Somerby hooks it clear. They've got to get on with it now, Leicester City. Time is running out. Agnew to Smith. Forward to Mills. Walsh is up there. Joachim goes down. No suggestion of a foul, though. It's all over. A Wembley classic has ended with with victory for Glenn Hoddle and a place in the Premier League for Swindon Town. You can only feel deeply, deeply sorry for Leicester City. For the second time in 12 months, they've tasted defeat. For the 6th time in their history, they've come to Wembley and they will go home losers. But Wembley is all about winners. The Leicester players are inconsolable, but Glenn Hoddle has led Swindon Town into the promised land.
I think I can spot the Chelsea chairman over on the far side. I have to hope for Glenn Hoddle that whatever his future is, that he continues to explore all the good things in the game. He's a marvellous player. He's been a wonderful leader today, and one can't speak too highly of him. For Leicester, I do feel that next season they're equipped for automatic promotion.
Well, emotional scenes here, and we'll be back at Wembley right after the break. For the first time in Swindon Town's history, they will be lining up against the likes of Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, and the other greats of English football. And this friendly little club from Wiltshire has finally buried the disappointment of 3 years ago when they rightly won promotion, beating Sunderland here in the playoff final, only to find that irregularities meant that they were forbidden to take their place. Glenn Hoddle has put all that behind them. The question now, of course, in Swindon is, will he be there to lead them in the Premier League next season?
Glenn Hoddle, but will he be staying with Swindon Town? Well, Gary Newborn asked him that right after the final whistle.
Well, Glenn, you've got them into the Premier Division.
Oh, it's fantastic, and then we did it the hard way, didn't we? We didn't do it easy. 3-0 up and we let it slip. What a game it must have been for you lads on television. But to be fair to Leicester, I feel for them. It's the second time they've come here as losers. And, you know, they've battled away. They've come back from 3-0, but I'm absolutely elated for the lads.
Will you be in the Premier Division with them?
I'm just going to go up that raw box. Might never get another chance.
Yeah. Well, James, well, Glenn Hoddle done it.
I only have one thing to say. We're going to have to play the cup final sometime in March. Get it out of the way, because it's rubbish. Get these playoffs on, because they are a different class to the cup final. We've seen a game here that has been second to none all season.
Oh, it's been wonderful. I mean,
fabulous game of football.
I thought, actually, when it got back to 3-3, Leicester might have done it.
Well, you'd have backed them, wouldn't you? You would have backed them, but to be fair, Swindon had 3 chances after that, didn't they?
They did do.
And you just have to say that this was one of the great games at Wembley, and we've seen some rough stuff here lately, believe me, but this was a credit to both teams. Congratulations to Swindon Town. Super effort by both sides. Yeah, wonderful.
I wouldn't like to have been Bowden taking that last penalty kick.
Oh, I don't know. I might have fancied it, especially as it went in.
Yeah, you might have fancied it. OK, well, that is it from Wembley this afternoon. We have more top-class sport on ITV this coming Saturday, with further coverage of the British Lions tour of New Zealand. That's at 1:10, followed by the start of ITV's coverage of international athletics this summer, the Peril International from Portsmouth at 3 o'clock. Our next football is on Wednesday, June the 9th, England's first match in the US Cup against the USA in Boston. Live coverage at 10:40 p.m. Well, thanks for being with us this afternoon. We'll leave you with the news that Swindon are in the Premier League after a dramatic playoff here this afternoon. From us all at Wembley, bye-bye.